County Association, rank and file, County Association, rank and file,
Good morning. Good morning, all. Welcome to the 32nd Westchester County Fallen Firefighters Service, a day we can take time out from our very busy schedules to honor those that have gone before us in the line of duty. At this time, I'd like to call to the podium Chaplain Robert Morrison.
Detail, uncover.
Heavenly Father, as we begin this memorial service, we give you thanks for these firefighters who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Give their families and friends the strength to continue to overcome their loss with faith and courage, and let the memories of their loved ones and your peace dwell in their hearts forever. Amen.
Detail, cover. Detail, attention. Present colors. Present arms. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order arms.
I'd like to introduce the President of the Westchester County Volunteer Firefighters Association, Donald J. Farrell. Please be seated. Thank you, Chief. Good morning and welcome on this beautiful but somber day. On behalf of the officers and members of the Westchester County Volunteer Firefighters Association, I'd like to welcome everyone to our annual Fallen Firefighter Memorial Service. Today, we are gathered here to remember all firefighters who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. This morning, we are adding the names of Philip Pinto of the Eastchester Fire Department and ex-Captain James Drohan of the Ossining Fire Department. I'd like to thank the Pinto and Drohan families for being here this morning. Thank you for sharing Philip and James with the fire service here in Westchester County. Our heartfelt condolences to your families. Both Philip and James will never be forgotten, and their legacy in the fire service will live on forever. In closing, I'd like to thank everyone for taking time out of your day to be here with us this morning. Also, to the committee and staff here at the Department of Emergency Services for putting our program on together today. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you. Representing the Westchester County Career Chiefs Association, Chief Andy Sandor of the New Rochelle Fire Department.
Good morning. Thank you for attending. It's fitting and proper that we should all get together in October, Fire Service, Fire Prevention Month, to remember our fallen firefighters throughout Westchester County, career and volunteer. As Donnie said, we're all firefighters. Somebody dials 911, they just want the best person they can get to show up, and we all be commended for that. The fallen firefighters here especially, the families of Captain Drohan, Captain Pinto, again, as President Farrell said, thank you for coming out this morning and letting us honor your loved ones and all the loved ones that are on this wall. You know, we all be grateful for today. We all know of folks that are, have various illnesses and whatnot from their time in the fire service, from their service, and we just remember we're all going to be there one day. So we be grateful for today, and again, thank you for sharing with us.
From the Westchester County Department of Emergency Services, please welcome Commissioner Richard Witchney.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone, and I'd like to also thank all of you for attending this year's Fallen Firefighters Memorial Service. We join together today to honor our fallen heroes. On behalf of Deputy Commissioner Susan Spear and all of us at the Department of Emergency Services, we wish to extend our sincere sympathy and respect to the families. Colleagues and friends also of firefighter James A. Drohan Sr., a member of the Ossining Fire Department, and Captain Philip A. Pinto of the Eastchester Fire Department. Their names will be added to the Wall of Honor today, joining those that have also passed in the line of duty, dedicated to serving their communities. They will not be forgotten, and we will always be grateful for their services. Special thanks to the Memorial Committee, under the leadership of Vincent Coulihan, President of the Westchester County Association of Fire Chiefs, that have worked diligently to arrange today's ceremony. Finally, I want to take a moment today to recognize County Executive Latimer. As more than likely, this will be his last time as the County Executive of Westchester County attending this event. He has participated in this ceremony each and every year. His commitment to the health and safety of all first responders in Westchester has been exemplary. We know that as his future schedule allows, he will continue to share this day with us, but next time as Congressman George Latimer. It is my great honor to welcome to the podium the Honorable County Executive George Latimer.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. I'm very honored to be here, and I'm joined by other important elected officials who knew that this is the right place and time to be here to honor James and to honor Phil for the great sacrifice they made. I'm joined by Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins, members of the Westchester County Board of Legislators Erica Lang Pierce, Judah Holstein, and James Nolan. We're also joined by Assemblywoman Dana Levenberg, and from the town of Ossining, the town supervisor Liz Feldman. And I'm sure if I've missed any other electeds in the office, it'll be caught by the upcoming Master of Ceremonies. I had told the story before, and I may have said it at this event too, about the experience I had when I worked in my first job, and I got a promotion and a transfer to another location. I called my dad, who was happy that I was gainfully employed and I didn't have to go back on Dad's payroll. And he said, well, son, you've had a job up to now you have a career, because you moved with the company and you got a promotion. He said, it's yet to be seen if it's a calling. And I've always thought about that differentiation between a job, a career, and a calling. And whenever I'm here with the men and women of the firematic community, I understand that it may be a job with certain benefits. It's certainly a career if you've done it over a long period of time. But it's more than that. It's a calling. Because this is one of those rare jobs in society, one of those rare careers in society, which you put yourself in danger as a part of your natural job every day. And even if you don't face that danger on the particular day that you're working, the potential for that is that the next time there's a fire call, and it could happen at any point in time. And those of us who are civilians know that. Every job has its own complications and complexities. As my father also said to me, that's why they pay you money, son. And I'm sure were I an accountant, I would fear having an IRS audit. That would be something that I would be very focused on wanting to avoid from my company or whoever I worked for. And that fear is real if that's your line of work. If you're in construction, the purpose of your time in construction is to build something, but If you're building a high-rise building, you have to be careful about your footing and where you are in what could be an accidental situation that could injure you or even cost you your life. But a firefighter's purpose is to put their physicality to play, to protect property and lives of other people. That is the purpose of the job. And how many people in this society do that? Those in the military do. Those in the police services do. But firefighters purposely say, I am willing to put myself out there to protect other people and their possessions as a part of what I do. That's a calling. That doesn't come to you when you sit around and you go through the want ads, what would I might like to do to make money. My late father-in-law, Charlie Phelps, was a professional firefighter who died at the age of 53. He contracted cancer. This was before 9/11, so it was not 9/11 related illness. But as near as I understand at the time, because I was a very young kid at the time dating his daughter, he died because of illnesses that he contracted through his firemanic service. And he was a vibrant man, and to lose him at age 53 left a mark on the family that lasted even to this day. To my wife, who's similar age category as I am, to my late mother-in-law, who lived to the age of 90 without her husband for 35 years. And so to the Pinto family and the Johan family today, I understand what a loss is, what it means to have that person that you love, that's a central part of your life, not there. And both James and Phil are not there because they served the people of this country at 9/11, in the aftermath, on the pile, and exposed themselves to diseases. That is why Westchester County, in addition to this wall of honor, has a wall of recognition over at Kensico, right next to our rising sculpture, where we remember the 100 some odd people that we lost that day on 9/11. But we remember as well for eternity the men and ultimately the women who have died in the years past, who sacrificed years of their life. And when you die before the natural order of things, you've traded off moments in your life that you would have had if you lived to full maturity, if you lived to 70 or even 80, which is not uncommon in this society now. When you die at a younger age, because you sacrificed for other people, that's grandchildren's first communions or bar mitzvahs or weddings, graduations, that you're not there to see. You're not there to see the achievement of your family members. You sacrificed that because you were willing to do something for other people. That is why we have this wall. That is why we have what we have over at Kensico, to make sure that for the families of those that have passed away, that we recognize as a society that sacrifice. And it wasn't just a passage in the night. Nothing puts that person back at the dinner table. I'm a big sports fan. Yankees have just made the World Series. I don't know if Phil or Jim were Yankee fans, and if they're Met fans, maybe the Mets will join them in the World Series. But I would bet you, at the firehouse, they'd be watching those games and enjoying it with their fellow firefighters. But they're not there. So they're on a wall. The names are on a wall because that's all we can do here in this world. I believe, and some of you believe, in a theology that says there is something greater, and if there is something greater, there is reward. That's the cover picture. There's reward beyond what we can see for their sacrifice. But we here on this planet, in this county, we don't forget. And it doesn't matter, I appreciate what Rich had to say, doesn't matter however long I'm here in this capacity, there have been others before me, there'll be others after me. This county will never forget in general, and they'll never forget Phil, and they'll never forget Jim.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. Before we move along to the presentation of proclamations, I'd ask that any representatives from the departments that are going to be reading names of their fallen, please come up, join me to my left of the podium here at this time. All right. We will present the proclamations and memorial flags and bring the families up to unveil the plaques. First off, representing the Ossining Fire Department, Chief Michael Scarduzio Jr. and the Drohan family, please come forward. Representing the Eastchester Fire Department, Chief Brian Tween and the family of Captain Philip A. Pinto, please come forward. Sorry, if there's a member from either family that would like to come up and say a few words, you're welcome to at this time. Anybody from Drohan family, anything you want to say? No? Pinto family?
Good morning. My name is Lauren Goodridge. I am the daughter of Eastchester Fire Captain Philip A. Pinto Jr., a 32-year veteran of the Eastchester Fire Department. On behalf of my mother, Lisa, my brother, Philip, my grandfather, Philip Sr., and our entire family, I'd like to first and foremost extend a thank you to the Westchester Fallen Firefighter Committee for honoring my father at this memorial. I'd also be remiss not to thank the Eastchester Fire District for all the work they have done and continue to do, both supporting my family and keeping my dad's legacy alive. After serving at Ground Zero following the September 11th attacks, my father received a pancreatic cancer diagnosis and ultimately succumbed to his illness in January of 2022. Though we are all here today to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, I'd like to take this opportunity to share with those who didn't have the privilege of knowing my father a little about who he was. Like most parents, my dad passed along a handful of life lessons and advice to me and my brother. One of the pieces of advice he shared was to do something you love, because if you have a career you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Cliche, yes, but very true. My dad was living proof that being a firefighter was not a job, but a passion that was so integrated deeply into his character. He came from a family legacy of firefighters, and it was only a matter of time before he graduated this very academy in 1989 to fulfill his calling. Growing up, there was no man, either in or out of uniform, no man on or off duty. There was simply my dad, my hero, the man who enamored a room with his stature, goofiness, and smile, but who was also the person that everyone felt safe and reassured with in perhaps their most critical moments. A second piece of advice my dad shared with us was that we always needed to think before doing or acting on anything. That think was the first word he learned how to spell from his dad, my papi, who I'd like to take a brief moment to acknowledge as a fellow retired Eastchester firefighter. Ironically enough, I found my father did not heed this piece of advice he gave. In fact, I found throughout the 28 years I was blessed to have my dad that he really didn't think at all before acting. He didn't think about jumping into action during Mass while a fellow parishioner was suffering a medical emergency. My husband and I have since become that same parishioner's next-door neighbor, and upon buying our house, he recognized me immediately as Captain Pinto's daughter. Contrary to his advice, my dad didn't think at all before acting. He, without hesitation, calmed and cared for someone in his most crucial and vulnerable minutes. My father also didn't think about investing in a luxury Santa suit and dressing up year after year as the big guy, visiting the pediatric patients in the local hospital. He didn't think at all about passing the torch to perhaps a younger Santa as the years went on. He took so much pride in lending comfort to those that needed it most. He didn't think about it. He simply captivated everyone he encountered with his humor, warmth, and approachable nature. My dad didn't think about muscling through his pancreatic cancer diagnosis when walking me down the aisle just a few short weeks before he passed. He didn't think about the option of not being present for my dream Christmas-time wedding in what seemed like the longest 10 months of fighting from his initial diagnosis. He simply persevered with dignity and tenacity. He didn't think about it. He simply did what had to be done without considering the option of letting me down. So for the latter piece of advice Dad gave, I'll let him off the hook for not necessarily leading by example. However, I bring it up today to demonstrate his doubtless instinct to not think, but to jump into action and to serve others. This distinguished my father from everyone else and is a special gift that only he had in my eyes. My father's legacy will continue to be not only that of a phenomenal leader and mentor to his peers, but also that of a selfless, family-oriented man who dutifully served his community and had the utmost gratitude for the life he built for his family. I am incredibly proud to be his daughter, and I hope his granddaughters understand through the impression he's made on others that my dad, their papa, was exceptionally special. It is a privilege to have my father's sacrifice commemorated on this memorial, and I thank again the Westchester Fallen Firefighter Committee for presenting my father and my family with this honor.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Also like to introduce the Chairman of the Board of County Legislators, Vedat Gashi, is here as well. All right, at this time, we'll move along to the reading of the names of all the fallen firefighters. If you're representing your department, please step to the podium and read the name and the department, and the bell will toll for each name that's read. Briarcliff Manor Fire Department. Joseph E. Piazzi, Briarcliff Manor Fire Department. From the Buchanan Fire Department, Chief Carl Aschenbrenner, Buchanan Fire Department. Dobbs Ferry Fire Department. Joseph Beatty, Dobbs Ferry Fire Department. Eastchester Fire Department.
William Dempsey Jr., Eastchester Fire Department. Frederick Fink, Eastchester Fire Department. Philip A. Pinto Jr., Eastchester Fire Department.
Fairview Fire Department.
Robert B. Gooding, Fairview Fire Department. Robert Mentrosty, Fairview Fire Department.
First Fire District of Pelham.
Leonard J. Justino, 1st Fire District of Pelham.
Harrison Fire Department. John Paul Rotundo, Harrison Fire Department. Hastings-on-Hudson Fire Department.
Fire Police Captain Louis Cargiulo, Hastings-on-Hudson Fire Department. Captain Colin Fell, Hastings-on-Hudson Fire Department. Lieutenant Francis B. Miller, Hastings-on-Hudson Fire Department. Captain Robert F. Peters, Hastings-on-Hudson Fire Department. Battalion Chief Robert J. Schnibbe Jr., Hastings-on-Hudson Fire Department.
Hawthorne Fire Company Number 1 and FDNY. Michael Lyons, Hawthorne Fire Company Number 1, Fire Department, City of New York. Irvington Fire Department. Daniel P. McCarthy, Irvington Fire Department. Katona Fire Department. James F. Lawrence Sr., Katona Fire Department. Larchmont Fire Department.
Lieutenant John Viteri, Larchmont Fire Department. Brian M. Payne, Larchmont Fire Department.
Mamaroneck Village Fire Department. William Cruikshank, Mamaroneck Village Fire Department. William Jacobs, Mamaroneck Village Fire Department. Albino Duke J. Norbeto, Mamaroneck Village Fire Department. Anthony J. Posia, Mamaroneck Village Fire Department. Marshall Sarles, Mamaroneck Village Fire Department. Mohegan Lake Fire Department. Donald W. Ambler Sr., Mohegan Lake Fire Department. Raymond Cow, Mohegan Lake Fire Department. Richard E. Gleason Sr., Mohegan Fire Department. Mount Kisco Fire Department. Anthony Prigatano Sr., Mount Kisco Fire Department. Mount Vernon Fire Department.
James Marin, Mount Vernon Fire Department. Dennis J. Mulland, Mount Vernon Fire Department. John O'Rourke, Mount Vernon Fire Department. Philip Roos, Mount Vernon Fire Department.
Kevin E. Towns, Mount Vernon Fire Department. Eugene Dean, Mount Vernon Volunteer Fire Department.
New Rochelle Fire Department.
James T. Burgess, New Rochelle Fire Department. Thomas F. Carrigan, New Rochelle Fire Department. Earl G. Gurchins. Alan E. Jones, New Rochelle Fire Department. Oliver Odell, New Rochelle Fire Department. Walter Peters, New Rochelle Fire Department. Andrew DiMaggio, New Rochelle Fire Department. Frank Strollo, New Rochelle Fire Department.
North Tarrytown Fire Department.
Joseph Cadlick, North Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow Fire Department.
North White Plains Fire Department. Felix Amoriello, North White Plains Fire Department. Ossining Fire Department.
Asa Barnes, Ossining Fire Department. James A. Drohan Sr., Ossining Fire Department. Joseph G. X., Ossining Fire Department. Francisco A. Grassa, Ossining Fire Department. William McAnally, Ossining Fire Department. John Wheeler, Ossining Fire Department. Michael Zarilla, Ossining Fire Department.
Peekskill Fire Department. Louis Barmore, Peekskill Fire Department. Kevin Bristol, Peekskill Fire Department. George Castles, Peekskill Fire Department. Walter Cole, Peekskill Fire Department. Charles R.F. Green, Peekskill Fire Department. Clarence Lockwood, Peekskill Fire Department. Samuel Otis, Peekskill Fire Department and Fire Department, City of New York. James H. Selleck, Peekskill Fire Department. William Sinzer, Peekskill Fire Department. John Torpy, Peekskill Fire Department. Pleasantville Fire Department. Thomas Dorr, Pleasantville Fire Department. Portchester Fire Department. Walter Haney, Portchester Fire Department. Eugene Miller, Portchester Fire Department. Rye Fire Department. Joseph W. Pasquale, Rye Fire Department. Tarrytown Fire Department. John P. Kelly, Tarrytown Fire Department. Scott Pfaff, Tarrytown Fire Department. Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department. Dennis P. Tortorella, Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department. Valhalla Fire Department. Berthold Lorenz, Valhalla Fire Department. White Plains Fire Department.
Bernard Callahan, White Plains Fire Department. Charles E. Cooley, White Plains Fire Department. J. Chester Cromwell, White Plains Fire Department. Salvador N. Colasso, White Plains Fire Department. Christopher Harmon, White Plains Fire Department. George Knapp, White Plains Fire Department. Warren R. Ogburn, White Plains Fire Department. Khalib F. Underhill, White Plains Fire Department. Edward Sioka, White Plains Fire Department.
Yonkers Fire Department.
George Alexander, Yonkers Fire Department. Walter Borick, Yonkers Fire Department. John J. Burke, Yonkers Fire Department. William Canavan, Yonkers Fire Department. Thomas Corballis, Yonkers Fire Department. Patrick Joyce Jr., Yonkers Fire Department. James Kane, Yonkers Fire Department. John Kiley, Yonkers Fire Department. Harry Korwatch, Yonkers Fire Department. Gary Kuhner, Yonkers Fire Department. Leo Podessa, Yonkers Fire Department. Antonio Rodriguez, Yonkers Fire Department. Miles Rutna, Yonkers Fire Department. Paul Shannon, Yonkers Fire Department. Edward Stanek, Yonkers Fire Department. Joseph Tracy, Yonkers Fire Department. James Walker, Yonkers Fire Department. And Ernest Welsh, Yonkers Fire Department.
This concludes the reading of the names. We will hear Amazing Grace at this time.
Detail, attention.
We will now have playing of taps.
Detail, stand arms. Order arms.
And now a closing prayer from Elder Mark McLean, the Westchester County Career Chiefs Association.
Detail, uncover.
Peace and blessings, family. There's no greater love than for one to lay down his life for a friend. And so I am deeply honored to be with you this morning to celebrate and commemorate those firefighters that on a moment's notice laid down their life for their community. And as we conclude this ceremony, it is my prayer that may the strength of God sustain you. May the power of God preserve you. And may the hand of God protect you. May the ways of God direct you. And may the love of God be with you, each and every one, as we leave this place, but never leave his presence. And finally, Lord, bless us, for when you bless us, we're truly blessed. Peace and blessings.
Detail, recover.
Please be seated. I would like to thank you all for coming and honoring the Pinto and Drohan families, along with all the other families who have lost loved ones. Thank you to all the organizations that made the ceremony possible. Thank you to the county executive, Commissioner Wishney, and all of you for attending, representing your departments. This concludes our ceremony. Please join us in the bay for refreshments. Have a wonderful, great rest of your weekend. Thank you all.
Detail dismissed.